Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
Hey, good morning, Texas. I'm Paige McCoy-Smith. I'm in for Erin Hunter. She is out on assignment, but I'm so excited that I get to hang out with you today because we're having the best show. So you don't want to change the dial because I'm telling you, fantastic topics, including when you're expecting a newborn baby, how do you really introduce your toddler to the new arrival? It can be really stressful for the entire family to have a new member kind of come in, especially with the little ones. They like to have that attention, and it can be kind of a challenge. So we're going to dive deep into that. Also, we're going to talk about what you need to know if you want to homeschool your children. Then we're going to look into the rising trend of multi-generational living. So no matter where you are on your lifespan, there's something for you today. It's going to be fun. And we're going to be celebrating the history of women in rodeo this Women's History Month. I'm telling you, folks, we have got Fort Worth royalty in the house. I cannot wait to introduce you to these wonderful, wonderful ladies. But first, we're going to get a check of our forecast with meteorologist and also somebody who happens to be one of my favorite people in the whole world, Mariel Ruiz. How are you?
Hey, it's so good to be here with you today.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's so fun when we get to share a studio.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey, it's kind of chilly out there this morning, but it's warming up really quick today. Yesterday, we had lows in the 30s. The day before, we had lows in the 30s. Today, we dropped into the 40s, so not quite as chilly. Temperature still, though, at about 47 degrees as I take you out to Weatherford. We're looking at a beautiful start to the day, although chilly. Go ahead, grab the light jacket, maybe just a sweater. You're not going to need it all day, though, because we do warm up really quickly. Our WFA studio is showing some really fun clouds over downtown Dallas, but a lot of blue sky as well. Temperature of 47 degrees there. Winds out of the south at 5-10 miles per hour. This cloud cover, by the way, does expand across all of North Texas. Everyone is seeing at least a little bit of cloud cover. We'll see a mix of sunshine and clouds throughout the day, as temperature already has made it to 50 degrees for Denton and in McKinney, as well as in Fort Worth. Warming up a lot quicker than yesterday. We actually make it to about 63 degrees around midday today. That's close to the high temperature we saw yesterday. So today, noticeably warmer, especially in the afternoon. We'll make it to about 78 degrees around 4 winds out of the south at 10 to 20. Around this evening, temperature still in the 70s. Overall, not a bad day to be out and about if you do have any outdoor activities planned. Meanwhile, if you're east of DFW, anywhere from Kaufman, Hunt County towards the east, highs in the mid to low 70s. We're looking at a few low 80s, though, for areas to the northwest of DFW. That's also where we have our elevated fire danger. We're going to touch base on that. We're also talking about record heat. Yeah, we were just under a freeze warning 2 days ago, and we're talking record heat for Friday. Record heat likely again on Sunday. We'll talk numbers, though, Paige, in just a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Mariel. Okay, bringing home a new baby is exciting, but if you already have a toddler, it can also come with some big emotions for the whole family. So, from first introductions to navigating those early days, Courtney Gowan with Nest Wellness Village is here to share some simple ways to help make the transition smoother for everyone. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Have you had firsthand experience in this topic?
Yes. At one point I had 3 under 3. And so every 22 months we were introducing a new baby into our family.
3 under 3. God bless you.
It was wild.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about introducing your baby to the kids. It can be kind of hit or miss.
Yes.
You know, even if you've tried to prepare, you never really know until that moment happens. So let's talk about what was that transition like for you personally with these 3 under 3? Did they vary in their acceptance?
They did, and I think that there's a big shift whenever you're a mother going from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3.
Yeah, you go from one-on-one to zone play.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
It's totally different. I've got 3 kids too.
It's so true. And so I just keep in mind that every child, your first child, your second child, they have their own personality and their own way that they're going to cope with them. So you know your baby the best, you know your toddler the best. And so there's a few strategies that we can use.
Let's talk about some of those strategies.
And so I think the biggest thing is preparing before. So whenever you are pregnant, have your toddler come feel your belly and say, hey, come feel the kicks. Come prepare them. And then whenever baby does arrive, you give them a job. Ladies, you can do this for your husbands too.
Right, that's so true.
Give a job,
Delegate
make them
people.
feel included.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a really good point that you make, because making sure that the child is invested in having new baby at home really does start before baby arrives, and having them participate, like you said, touching the baby, maybe even preparing the nursery, reading books,
absolutely,
kind of doing some practicing, because I think that you don't have the shock when the kid comes, and I think that makes a huge difference in making sure that the whole family remains strong.
It really does. Yep, exactly.
All right. So let's also talk about other ways that you can ensure that your child is being included in the process.
Well, let's talk about that first meeting too. I think we all want this Instagram-worthy moment where we're like, oh, it's your new baby. I think the best advice over my patients that I've seen and then my own experience is let them have their own time. Let them take their time, let their nervous system regulate. And then when they're ready, let them come meet their own baby, and then maybe have a gift that they can give the baby as well.
Yeah, or maybe even a gift for them, too.
Yes, exactly.
One of the tricks that we did is that we gave my oldest son a baby of his own.
Yeah.
So that he could participate and feel what it was like to take care of his own baby, and making it easier as mom's trying to spend the time that she needs with new baby.
Yeah, and just knowing it's a big transition for them too.
Yeah.
And they're trying to regulate.
Yeah. So when it comes to also preserving mom's mental health, as you mentioned, it's great when we can have dad step in and help out. Also, in having the kids engage. What other strategies that can we take to make sure that we're not getting lost in the shuffle of all of this?
I think the biggest thing to remember as moms is whenever your nervous system is regulated, you're able to have a calm household. And so it starts with you. It starts with your mental health, taking care of yourself, investing in your rhythms. And so if we can create a calm rhythm for ourselves at home, that's going to help the transition for baby and for toddler.
All right, so now baby's home. They're here. They're here
They're
to
not
stay.
leaving.
They're not leaving. Even though many might protest, the older ones might protest. What do you do to help alleviate some feelings of jealousy or animosity towards new baby?
I think that starts with you too, and just regulating and knowing that emotions are communication. And so whenever a toddler is acting out, they're just craving your presence, and they're saying, Mom, I need you. This is how I regulate. It's through your heartbeat, through being around you. And just knowing that, hey, this is just communication from my toddler, that they need some one-on-one time. They need some moments with you to say, hey, this isn't the baby's fault. This is, I'm still yours, you're still important, and you are validated in your emotions.
I think bringing the child in and making sure that you are creating one-on-one time with a toddler, it's really easy to forget that, because when we have the new baby, obviously there's so many needs that need to be addressed, but to find a way to carve that out can really help, because a peaceful environment, that permeates throughout the entire family. And if there is chaos and if there is animosity, nobody's happy.
Which motherhood, that is a part of it too. But if you can find a regulation and a baseline, that'll help everything go better.
I think that's a really good point. You bring up some great tips. Is there any kind of final thoughts you want to leave us with today?
I think that there's no perfect way to do motherhood, and if you just give yourself that grace and allow yourself that grace to say, you know what, I always say presence over perfection. So if we can be present and not have a perfect house, give yourself some grace and know that everything, you're gonna wish that those days came back and they go by. It's like the days are short, or days are long, but the years are short.
That's so true. My youngest is 15. I've got one left in the nest, and I just want to hold on to her for as long as I possibly can.
Exactly.
It goes by so quickly, and you want to treasure those moments.
Yeah.
That is a great final thought.
Absolutely.
Where can people find out more information about you?
You can come see us at our office, freetobechiropractic.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Dr. Courtney Gowan.
You were wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Parents usually think of two options when it comes to their child's education, public or private school, but our next guest decided to go with a third option, homeschool. Her name is Melanie Wood, and she joins me to share a little about her journey and what you should know before you become your child's teacher. Hey, Melanie.
Hi.
This is a topic that I have been really fascinated by for many, many years, but I'm curious, let's start at the beginning. Why did you decide that you wanted to incorporate homeschooling into your kids' curriculum?
Well, when I decided to have more children, I just wanted to create a safe environment for my children where they can learn and not be intimidated by others, to learn and grow at their own pace, and they thrive off of each other. And I just wanted to pour that knowledge into them and build a learning foundation for them that they can take into the real world.
This was a huge life change for you.
It was.
You were a career woman,
Very.
moving up the ranks, but you
Yes.
decided, you know what? While the kids are young, I want to be more invested and involved in their
Yes.
education. And you took a major leap,
I did.
a huge detour. How was that? What was that experience like for you?
Well, I wanted to slow down in my career. I do have an older child, and she was in private school. And when I decided to have more children, I wanted to be able to be home with them. I feel like my oldest daughter's childhood was a blur. And I've always worked with my children, just like any parent, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, but I took it beyond that. And I had them so far advanced that I didn't want them to go into the school system
And regress.
Correct.
I think that's a good point. Well, let's talk about some of the benefits of homeschooling. Some of them are really practical. One thing that you wrote is that you're not early risers.
No, definitely not.
That's a huge advantage.
Yes, it is. We can start school at our own time, at our own pace. And I let my kids wake up when they're ready to wake up, and whether that be 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And it just makes things a lot smoother where they're ready and eager to learn, and they're not giving you a hard time because they're tired or they're fussy. So yes, we are definitely not early risers in our home. We wake up and get our day going.
Yeah, and kind of to tag along with that, the flexibility.
Yes.
That's huge.
It really is. We have the flexibility to go on vacation like it's springtime. Right now, we go on vacation when it's not so chaotic and high peak time. So that works for us. And just enjoying life, because learning and education is outside of the classroom as well.
I think you bring up a really good point, is that one of the advantages of homeschooling, as I've observed, is that you're able to apply learning beyond the textbooks.
Yes.
It's truly, experimental. You can be out at different types of museums, have
Yes.
different types of experiences that you would not otherwise benefit from in a traditional classroom setting. Because
correct.
you're right, to have a holistic approach to learning, you can't just be limited by textbooks.
That's correct. And we take each day as a learning. Like I teach them, life experiences. If they're in a bad situation, how would you handle that? And let them verbally communicate those things. Getting up in the morning, letting them be self-sufficient, but not being rushed out a door to make it to someone's classroom by 8 a.m.
Right.
Yes, learning is beyond the books.
Beyond the books.
And that's what I teach my kids. I teach them the foundation of respect towards your elders, respect towards other people, and just things that will come in life that they don't know how to handle, but I can create that safety net for them at home and how you would handle certain situations.
Well, let's also quickly touch on some of the realities of homeschooling. There's concerns related to socialization. There's also concerns related to, am I, as the teacher, equipped to, for example, teach math? That would be intimidating enough for me to back away.
It can be. It can be. Socialization is a big thing, yes. But nowadays, there's so many options that you can get around that. My kids are involved in several extracurricular activities. There's co-op homeschooling where you get to interact with other homeschool moms and children. They have play dates. We put on Easter parties. You can put on your own prom. So you don't have to be afraid of how your child's going to interact with other kids. You have to take that extra step, yes, to make that happen, but it's so worthwhile.
I could talk to you for an hour on this particular topic, but we're out of time. Where can people follow more about your journey?
They can follow me on all my socials at Wood City Limits.
Thank you so much for
Yes.
joining us. This
Thank
is a
you.
fascinating topic. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we're seeing a growing trend across North Texas. Families are returning to multi-generational living. Whether it's aging parents moving in or adult kids coming back home or families planning ahead, more households are choosing to live under one roof. So today we're joined by local realtor Barbie Armenta to help us understand what's driving this shift and what families need to know. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this whole concept of multi-generational living. What do you mean by that? And why are you seeing it make a comeback?
Well, it's something that used to be normalized, and somewhere along the way we said everyone needs to get out at 18, and then we find somewhere for mom, and people are starting to come back under one roof, and they're just doing it more thoughtful and with intention.
I've heard another term for this. They call it like the sandwich generation, where you still have kids at home, then you also have aging parents. There are multiple needs that you have to address as the caregiver, and that can really be taxing and difficult for somebody who's really wanting to make sure that everybody is living in a comfortable and compatible home environment.
Yes, there's really three things that are kind of driving this, and one is connection. After the past years, we've just found more wanting to have community outside and inside the home. It's caregiving, like you mentioned, bringing mom back in the house, and maybe she needs care, maybe she just needs to not be isolated. But also, it's more of an open nest than an empty nest, and allowing those children to come in and save money, which is the third thing, is finances. When you are able to pool finances from multiple people in the family, you might be able to get a home or a neighborhood that might have been out of reach before.
That brings up a really good point. When you're thinking about the living space, we all need our own little space that we can call our, as ours. And I'm curious about, when looking into a property and possibly expanding to accommodate these multiple needs, what are some key things we should keep in mind?
Well, everyone is unique, and so it might be that you just need an extra bedroom and a bathroom downstairs. You might want a full suite with its own entrance. I have a listing in Fort Worth that has 5,000 square feet in the main house, but it has a full guest house in the back, and so that's a great situation when you can have that additional
distance,
guest
just
house.
A little bit of distance.
A little bit. And then together when you want. But a lot of builders here in North Texas are starting to build for this specifically to accommodate those needs.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, because long-term care for our elders, and it can be really costly, and it might be much more practical to build another structure on your property. That way you have a little bit of distance. How important is it to have kind of your own little domain within a shared household?
Well, I think the first thing is to have those maybe uncomfortable but vulnerable conversations so that you can talk about lifestyle, privacy, boundaries, finances, all of those things. You get them out on the front end instead of trying to squeeze everyone in and then figure it out on the back end.
Just having that open dialogue. It may be uncomfortable, but it's worth it in the end. Okay,
Absolutely.
So what if you're somebody who is recognizing that the walls are getting closer and closer, and you're feeling a little claustrophobic, and you are thinking about bringing mom or dad into your home, or a kid needs a little bit of time before they're ready to launch completely outside of the nest? What are some first steps that we should take before exploring new home options?
The first thing is that vulnerable conversation within the family, and just talking about everyone's needs, everyone's finances, what way they'll contribute, and what works best for them. But that's something that I love to help with. I offer a clarity call where people, we get on the phone and we just talk about what's most important, and then we also look at, maybe you move, but maybe you renovate where you have and make that work for you versus trying to move. But when you do choose to move, you might have multiple houses to sell, and so being able to pull those finances to get something that works for everyone.
That works for everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
This
you.
is such a timely topic. We appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you.
All right. So coming up, I'm going to sit down with best-selling author Colleen Hoover and director Vanessa Coswell about the new movie, Reminders of Him. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
From robots to music to plumbing, I've got some terrific home improvement gadgets for you coming up. I'm Steve Greenberg. Stay right there.
Well, the temperatures are rising and spring is almost here, and that means it's the perfect time to consider some new home improvement products. Steve Greenberg, host of YouTube's Guess the Gadget game show, What the Heck Is That?, shares some of his spring into tech picks.
Today I have some terrific home improvement products for the spring. First up, do you have a robotic vacuum cleaner? This is the Dreamy X60 Max Ultra Complete, and this is one of the thinnest robotic vacuums on the market at just 3.13 inches tall. That means it can slide under cabinets, beds, and sofas that most robotic vacuums simply can't reach. Look at Dreamy go. The X60 was named Best of Show by both Android Authority and Tech Radar at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. Its AI navigation system uses sensors and LED cameras to make sure every corner gets clean while avoiding any obstacles in its path. Infrared sensors detect hidden dirt, pet hair, even liquids. The Dreamy X60 automatically switches between vacuuming and mopping as needed. The mop pads are internally self-washed with 212 degrees of hot water to kill germs. The Dreamy X60 Max Ultra is available at dreamytech.com. Next, looking to add a luxury bidet to your bathroom? Check out the Brondell Swash 1400. It replaces your current toilet seat. Super easy to install. I installed this one in just 15 minutes. It does require an electric outlet nearby. Once installed, you have an endless warm water wash, heated toilet seat, deodorizer, warm air dryer, and even a nightlight. Dual self-clean stainless steel nozzles deliver a customized wash, 7 nozzle positions, 3 spray widths, and 3 spray pressures, all controlled with a remote control with 2 user presets. The Brondell Swash 1400 takes your bathroom experience to a new level. So don't wipe, wash. For more information on the Swash 1400, go to brondell.com. Looking for a healthier shower experience? Check out the Rodeo Duo. This is an inline shower filter that removes most chlorine, forever chemicals, and water particles. Showering with filtered water improves skin hydration, makes skin softer, and promotes a healthier scalp. It's easy to install, no tools are needed. Each filter lasts for more than 400 showers. Great for homeowners or renters. It's available at WedellWater.com. And finally, you've got CDs, cassettes, record albums, and no way to listen to them anymore. Well, now you do. I've been a fan of Hammacher Schlemmer's for years, and this is amazing. This is their brand new all-in-one stereo. It plays, get this, records, cassettes, CDs, radio, MP3s, SD cards, USB drives, or even music from your smartphone via Bluetooth. It has 2 built-in 3-watt speakers or connect to your own speakers, and it has a headphone jack and a remote control. So get off your screens and reconnect to the music you love. The Any Music Format Stereo is available exclusively from Hammacher Schlemmer. Check it out at hammacher.com. For more information on anything I talked about here today, go to my blog, go to stevegreenberg.tv and click on blog. Happy spring.
All right, go to gadgetgameshow.com to see Steve's latest What the Heck Is That episodes on YouTube. Still ahead on today's show, we're celebrating women in rodeo with 2 of Fort Worth's most well-known cowgirls. Plus, my favorite weather gal, she is here. Meteorologist Marielle Ruiz has a hot take on this weekend's forecast. What's going on?
Yeah, we're talking record heat likely before the weekend, and then again this weekend for the first full weekend of spring. It's going to feel more like summer. We'll talk numbers when GMT returns.
Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
You know, Marielle, every day is a good day when you're living in Texas, but it's particularly on days like this that make me so grateful to be in the Lone Star State. Now, don't ask me in August how I feel about it. But right now, it's looking good, and the temperatures are only going to be rising.
Yes, they're going to be rising. So if you've been missing that warmth, this weekend is for you. If you've been dreading the warmth, I'm sorry. Today is kind of like the perfect day, though, because it's a chilly in the morning, right? So you got to wear the cute jacket in. But this afternoon, I mean, temperatures in the upper 70s. Talk about patio weather. Areas northwest of DFW, though, will be in the low 80s. We're looking at 79 degrees in Fort Worth for the high today, about 78 in Dallas. It's also going to be breezy at times, anywhere between 20, 22 miles per hour, which again isn't that far off from what's normal in North Texas during the springtime. So we'll see a wind gust near 20. Again, breezy at times. This is not something that will be super impactful to your day like it was on Sunday or Monday. Our elevated fire danger, that continues for areas of Wise County, Parker County, towards the northwest. And this is for low humidity, warm temperatures, breezy conditions. Fires can start quickly under these circumstances. But look at how the next several days play out. 90 degrees on Thursday, 92 degrees on Friday. So we'll see 90-degree weather tomorrow. 92 on Friday would tie a record high, 95 Saturday. Not quite record, but still hottest day on the 14-day. And then we're looking at 94 degrees on Sunday. The record on Sunday is 93, so we could be dealing with record heat. Now on Sunday going into Monday, we'll see a cold front come through. That front drops our highs into the low 80s. This will be about 10 degrees warmer than normal, even with that front coming in. So as early as tomorrow through Sunday, we're talking 20, 25 degrees warmer than normal, and that carries on through the rest of the weekend. Next week, still warmer than normal, highs in the 80s. Mostly rain-free, though, the next couple of weeks. That takes us right to the end of March. Paige?
Okay, the PBR World Finals and Premier Women's Rodeo Championships are coming to North Texas this spring. And this morning, I'm talking with two women who have made history in the world of rodeo. We're talking Pam Minnick and Charmaine Holdren. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Texas.
I'm so glad you're here. You know, I'm a Fort Worth gal, and so having both of you here in the studio, given your history and what you two have been able to, what you two have accomplished in the world of women's rodeo, is really an honor. And thank you guys for coming. So let's talk a little bit more about it. So for viewers who are not familiar with the Premier Women's Rodeo, what's it all about, Pam?
Well, it's an excellent new kind of innovative platform for women in rodeo. And it allows people at all ages and skill levels to participate and win big money. And the greatest thing about it, the competition's going to be at Cowtown Coliseum and the Fort Worth Stockyards. And we know how vibrant the Stockyards is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it's something that we are really proud of, the Stockyards.
Right.
And with the Fort Worth Stock Show that happens every year, it's exciting. And this month is Women's History Month. And Pam, it's no mystery, you have been such a trailblazer for women in the rodeo. You were Miss Rodeo back in the 70s and have also had so many different championships. I don't even know what you do with all of your belt buckles that you have earned. So what does it mean to see women having all of these new opportunities when it comes to rodeo?
Well, it's so exciting to see. I mean, they'll get a chance to win more in, 4 or 5 seconds than I won in an entire year when I won a world championship. And like I said, the platform, because they can nominate where they want their points to count from, and then get a chance to come to this big money event and win literally tens of thousands of dollars for a 13-second run in the barrel race.
Well, and a lot of credit goes to you for really ushering in women into this male-dominated sport. You are really a pioneer in this and giving women this opportunity. It's exciting to witness the growth, and knowing you and what you've done behind the scenes is really, really exciting.
Well, and one neat thing about Premier Women's Rodeo is that it's powered by the PBR. And the PBR Professional Bull Riders was really innovative in that space. And to have the power of 30 years of history of the PBR behind Premier Women's Rodeo, it really, it fueled this really, really fast.
All right, and let's talk to you, Charmaine. I mean, you are known for barrel racing, and you had a very, very fantastic career, and you also have an inspiring story. You stepped away from the sport for a period of time, for a number of years, and now you've made this huge comeback. Tell us more about that.
Well, thank you very much. It was quite a long road, actually. I want to give the glory to God for all the blessings in the journey. But I was forced to step away from a sport that I loved, barrel racing, for 10 years. due to some injuries that just weren't healing correctly, I wasn't able to ride at all. Wow. And it really led me to ask, what am I doing? Is barrel racing ever going to be a part of my life again? And so I continued with that ache in my heart and that love for the sport, and God led me to some people that were able to help. I started seeing some progress in my healing. At the same time, a horse that I raised and trained, Trick. He started really, he started really coming together, and I was able to ride a horse again. You can get back on.
Yeah, and some of the
all these
horses that
years.
you've trained are not traditional horses for this particular
Right,
sport.
they
and
are.
you've been very instrumental in introducing this breed of horses into barrel racing. And I'm curious, why do you think we're seeing so much momentum for women entering into this sport at this time than in years past?
So it's very exciting for fans to watch people like me who have a comeback story after all these years, coming in and winning a world championship after being gone for so long. I've actually had young ladies reach out to me because my story has gotten so much attention.
Publicity.
And I'm helping train and bring up the next generation of women rodeo competitors, and it's strong.
It is strong,
really
and also
good
there's a huge
competitors.
event, Pam, I want to talk about that's going to be returning to North Texas this May. Tell us more about the PBR World Finals. What can we expect?
Well, you'll see the greatest athletes, both men and women, at the PBR and Premier Women's Rodeo for about 10 days right there in Fort Worth at Cowtown Coliseum and Dickies Arena, where the competition will take place. But it's the best riders, the toughest stock, and the biggest amount of money. And I think that that's what brings people in, is that they see an opportunity to be a housewife or a mother and still get a chance to follow their dreams, follow their passion, and compete for life-changing dollars.
Life-changing dollars. It's wonderful that now women are a big part of that and are able to reap the rewards of being in this kind of arena.
So come to the Stockyards
Okay.
May 7th through the 17th. So we've got given you plenty of time to plan.
All right, well, thank you so much. And we really do appreciate you both joining us. Well, success in business is usually measured by growth, but for one Dallas founder, it's being measured by how much she can give back. Brittany Grignon Hayes started Sessions Pilates 10 years ago with a dream and a lot of grit, and now she's celebrating a decade of sweat by giving back to North Texas female founders. I'm so excited that she's here to share more. Hello, Brittany. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. So good to see you.
I am thrilled to have you here. I must tell you that my very first Pilates class I did just a matter of months ago. It was at Sessions Pilates. Had a great experience.
Oh, I love to hear it.
It
That's
really
amazing.
is. So it was a thrill for me to have you here. So 10 years ago, I mean, it's a huge milestone that you've been able to create this. Looking back to 2016, did you ever imagine that Sessions would grow into a community of over, listen to this, 70,000 people?
No, I had absolutely no idea. But I'm absolutely excited, and it's been a beautiful ride. Like 10 years ago, I received $80,000 investment to get Session off the ground. And our community has showed up for us in more ways than I could ever possibly imagine. And so we're really excited to pay that forward. And to celebrate our 10-year anniversary, we are launching the Session Foundation, where we aim to help continue to support female entrepreneurs. And we're going to be giving away an $80,000 grant, which is the exact investment I received.
That is so great. And that
Yeah.
$80,000, what you were able to do and to see how much it's blossomed and grown is really exciting. And the fact that you are taking the initiative to give back is a true credit to who you are, because you were also in the midst of building a business. You were also building a family and a community. That is no small feat. So what are some of your personal wellness or self-care non-negotiables that have kept you going and also keeping you grounded?
Oh, absolutely. Some personal wellness ones. I have 2 children at home. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And non-negotiables is getting my dinner time with them, getting, my just intentional time with them, bedtime with them. And honestly, that's only been able to happen because I've been able to cultivate some amazing people on our team that's really helped create Session to what it is. And so just so excited to be able to continue to hug them back and pay it forward.
I think the word of the day should be intentional. Because I think when you are approaching life with intention and you're approaching moments in life with intention, then you're able to get the most out of that situation. In addition, those whom you are in community with, they're getting the best version of you. So I love the idea of intentional living. So let's talk a little bit about the incredible success that you've had, and also the fact that you are providing this wonderful foundation, which is awarding $80,000 grant. You told me before, because that was the amount of money that you received.
Yes.
You want to pay that forward. What did it mean to you back 10 years ago to get that money in order to fulfill that dream?
It was the exact spark that I needed to be able to get my dreams off the ground. And so, again, to be able to pay this forward, which, by the way, today is our last day to accept grant applications.
And you've had a lot of applications.
Yes, we've received over 100 applications at this point. But today is the day.
Okay.
Any entrepreneurs paying attention, get the application in today. And then we will be giving the recipient of the grant at our inaugural sound session event, which is April 10th at Bomb Factory. And this is a celebration to be had. It's gonna be a beautiful night with ours truly, DJ Lucy Rube will be in the house DJ, and then we'll be dancing and singing the night away with Sir Woman in St. Motel. It's a night to be had, and the most beautiful thing about it is every ticket sold, all proceeds are going back to creating more funds for future female entrepreneurs. So when I say inaugural, I mean that. This is our first year.
This is the first one.
And we want to continue to create a legacy with this and to truly invest unapologetically in the future of our community.
Your mission has always been about building stronger bodies, but also building a stronger community. And this seems to tie in so nicely with that objective that you had early on. I congratulate you on that.
Thank you, Paige.
Okay, so where can we get more information about the grant and
Yes.
also this fantastic party you're having at the Bomb Factory?
So whether you are an entrepreneur looking to apply for the grant, or a brand wanting to sponsor, or a fan who's wanting to dance, check out sessionpilates.com, and you can get all the information about the event on our website.
This is great information. Congratulations, and thank you for all that you're doing. Okay, we got
appreciate
more
you.
GMT to come. Stay tuned. We are going to be right back.
Just that.
Do you want back?
No, it's fine.
Come back soon.
If you insist.
You know you can buy more than one at a time.
I'm just working up the courage to ask you out.
After serving 5 years in prison for a tragic mistake, Kenna Rowan returns to the town where it all went wrong. Colleen Hoover's novel-turned-movie Reminders of Him explores themes that suggest not all stories require a villain. I had the opportunity to sit down with Colleen and movie director Vanessa Caswell to learn how they brought this book to the big screen. The theme that I got primarily from both the book and the movie is it's a story about love. 100%. It really is. It's kind of about the messiness of love in the aftermath of a tragedy, but it's still about the love. So how difficult was that to translate that so successfully on the screen?
I mean, luckily I got to, help write the script. Lauren Levine and I
you were
co-wrote it. Yeah, and so, what I put into the book, I was able to, kind of hopefully carry on to the page. But then once Ness joined us, she just had such a wonderful reaction to the script and to the book. With the cast and her direction, I feel like we achieved it.
Yeah, I don't think that it replicated the book, but
Right.
it definitely, it respected the storyline so successfully. There was so many themes that you were able to very successfully portray on screen, which is not easy to do, especially the way that you wrote it from the point of view, first person point of view, to try to translate that had to be challenging.
In the book, it's the chapters are written from Kenna's perspective and Ledger's. I actually thought that was quite helpful because it meant that you could see what it was like to be inside that character and then to see how they're perceived. But I love that you said it's a story about love, because it's a love story. It's a romantic, sweeping story, but it's also just about all forms of love, and platonic love, lost love, maternal love, romantic love. And, the main themes are forms of love. Grief is a form of love. It's love with nowhere to go. And forgiveness is the highest form of love. So I love that that's how you talk about it.
Right, and also there was no villain.
That's
There
what
was
I
no
love.
villain that
No.
emerged in this in the storyline, either in the book or in the movie.
I love to write books where life is the villain.
I think that's a very good point, because life was the villain. I mean,
Yeah.
it quite literally had a curve that really caused so much tragedy and so much hardship. And that's the idea of the messiness of tragedy, but still how successful love can emerge. I'm going to read a quote from the book. It says, "Regrets keep you stuck on pause. So does prison. When you get out of here, make sure you hit play so you don't forget to move forward." I think that's a really interesting notion, because as you were saying, the villain, if anything, was life in all of this. And the whole notion of moving forward through those curves is so essential in order to really fulfill life successfully. Yeah, that was a beautifully written passage. So,
thank you.
I want to talk about Vanessa, the book being so internal and focusing on Kenna's thoughts. How did you use visual language or cinematography to translate their internal struggle so successfully on screen?
I think that something I loved about the book was just how Colleen would capture really the feeling that a character has in their body or in space, and like where they're holding, where their breath is, where they're like constricting, or what they're holding on to just to like steady themselves. Things like that, details that I find really like helpful in terms of blocking a scene.
The thing that, as we mentioned, we're going to kind of circle back to the reality, or to the underlying theme of love, that being the basis of it. Recognizing that we shouldn't judge people based upon their worst moment, and understanding that there's a story behind some of those decisions that are being made. It's a redemption story for all of us. Can y'all comment any further on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like one of the things I loved about it when I read it was that it felt like a sort of fairy tale, a modern fairy tale or parable for our times, because especially online, but just we're in a time of such divisiveness, and there's so much hatred, there's so much judgment. It's so easy to just say awful things about other people in the world we live in right now, and I don't think it's serving us at all. So there's something very pure and simple about this story, and showing that there is a way to see the other's perspective, and there is a way to move forward, even though there's so much pain and it's so hard to forgive, and it's also so hard to forgive yourself for something terrible that you've done in the past. But I feel like it's got medicine in it. I do.
And I think it is. I think you touched on something rather revolutionary, that not all stories need a villain.
No.
They really don't. And you were able to do that so successfully. Thank you both. Reminders of Him is on screens now. You can also pick up the book wherever books are sold. And if you're looking for a movie that the whole family can enjoy, you don't want to miss the story of the Pout Pout Fish, coming to theaters this Friday. Based on the New York Times best-selling book, The Pout Pout Fish brings to life the hilarious and heartwarming story of an unlikely duo, Mr. Fish, voiced by Nick Offerman, and Pip, voiced by Nina Oyema, who embark on this epic undersea quest to find a legendary fish that could save their homes. It celebrates the power of friendship, courage, and spreading happiness no matter how deep the ocean goes. And you know what we do? This morning we are celebrating the release of the new movie with a prize pack giveaway that includes the Pout Pout Fish book, a plushie, some snacks, and AMC vouchers so you can take the family to see the movie. You can call now at 214-977-6008. or 888-446-8880 for your chance to win. The 8th and 9th callers win, so good luck and happy fishing. We'll be right back.
Wardrobe for our hosts is sponsored by Dillard's at North Park Center.
Oh my gosh, I had so much fun hanging out with you today. And good news, if you missed anything from today's show, remember you can always rewatch GMT on your own time on the free-to-download WFAA Plus streaming app for your TV, where you can catch the entire show you may have missed under the News tab. And you can also select just the segments from our show to watch on demand under the Shows tab. So you've got some option there. It replays on WFAA Plus and on our sister station, KFAA Channel 29 at 1 o'clock today. And guess what? I'm going to be hanging out with you again tomorrow. I'm excited about that. So we're going to be going to the movies. Yes, this chick flick shares her picks for March. You don't want to miss it. I've had a blast being with you. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday, and I can't wait to see you on Thursday. See you later. Good morning, Texas.